Hi everyone, welcome to the Financial Foreman's Ask an Expert series. We've got Ashley Fry from So Cloudy here, who's a web developer. How I like to start our interviews is I always like to ask them, who are you and how'd you get your start? So Ash, off you go.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite. Yeah, as you stated, my name is Ashley Fry, and I'm the owner of So Cloudy. So we've been around for almost 5 years now, and we started off as a small telecommunications company. So I worked at Telstra for about 12 years through different dealerships and among the lights and looking after enterprise and high business customers. And and then the place that I was working at actually closed down. So then I needed to go do something else. And I thought, well, I want to keep looking after my customers. Maybe I'll just go out on my own. So I started off and went and got all the licenses required and set all my suppliers up so I could actually supply my clients mobile SIM cards and internets and also business phone systems.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the telecommunications side of things. And so how'd you get into the web development area?
Well, it was quite interesting that the telecommunications is what really started it all.
Yep.
But I decided that I needed a website, as everyone does when they first start out. And I thought,
Mm.
let's see what we can do. So I went and got some different quotes for websites, and thought, you know what, I could probably do this myself. So I started building a website and went through some courses and learnt on how to really build a website and make it effective. And before long, some of my existing clients that I had said, "Oh, who did your website? We really like it." And I said, "I did." And they said, "Oh, can you do one for us as well?" I thought,
Yep.
yeah, cool, no problem. So within the space of probably 6 months of So Cloudy starting up, we opened the website arm as well. So we did probably three or four different websites in that first 6 month period, which was a nice little start. Um, but then it got a little bit too much for me to keep on continuing on with doing all the websites myself. So we started looking at bringing on some overseas people to start with to help me do the overflow of work. Um, and then now we've also got staff here in Australia that do the work as well.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, for newer business or businesses that may be established that don't have an online presence yet, why is it important to have one?
Oh, it's super important. Everybody now is looking online about
Yep.
who they're dealing with. If they want to buy something, it might be. I had this example with one of my clients yesterday that going back 10 to 15 years ago, if we wanted a new TV, we would go into a retailer, a Harvey Norman or something, have a look at all the different types of TVs, speak with a salesperson. They're going to tell us what's good about this TV and what's good about that TV. Times have really changed now. If somebody wants a TV, they go online, they might watch some YouTube videos and do some research on the different types of TVs, the functionality, what type of picture they want to watch and make their assessment from there. From that stage, then they go in and try to find all the different prices, who sells the TVs, where they can get it from. Do they buy online? Do they go into a shop? Is there one close by to them? All those types of things are done before someone even gets engaged. And then they go into the shop. Sometimes they go in the shop, sometimes they buy it online. They know what they want before they even turn up. So the point of that is the whole process has now changed from um, going in and dealing with people to the people's online presence. So if you're dealing, you might be a builder. People want to know what type of work you've done. They want to know what your credentials are, whether you've got your certificates, what work have you done previously. Do you have online reviews? Like these are all the types of
Mm.
things that people are doing now before they even engage you. It's not even about once you're engaged, it's about before you're engaged, people actually doing their research on you now.
Yeah, and it is that online presence, that online credibility that will enable you to win more jobs. Like an unmeasurable element of your quoting process, which is when the customers will do, a Google search or a review of it before accepting the quote. So yeah, it is vitally important.
100% it is. And a lot of my clients that I'm dealing with now, we've just finished building a construction website and they said, we don't get any work online. We don't need to get any more work. We're that booked out, but we need people to be able to go look us up and find out who we are and what we do. So that's why they've
Mm,
got a new website.
exactly. I guess, and one thing to cover across is, why use a web developer versus one of those, templated websites like Wix or something like that, where you can try to smash out your website on a weekend. Why should you go through a developer?
Yeah, well, generally speaking, there's a different user case for each people. I don't shy away from telling anybody if that's what they want to do, go ahead and do it. Like
Yeah.
it's generally got to do with budget, where someone, if they go to somewhere like a Wix, what they're doing is they're trying to get the cheapest possible product. But a lot of these businesses are also trying to sell a product of their own that has value to it. So it's exactly the
Mm,
same with a website. Depends on what value they have on their website and whether it's needed. These Wix templates don't have any types of integrations with them. Potentially, not all of them, but some of them don't work very well on all your different size devices, whether it's a mobile device and a tablet device. Really important that you have a nice looking website that portrays you as your business across all devices. I think there's about 60% of people are viewing websites on mobile devices now, so it's really important to make sure that you can get that down pat. The other
mm,
thing is as well, it's all about your brand and your image. A lot of people want to have their branding um, across the whole website. So, for instance, with a Wix, you get this template and this is what you've got, and that's it. Where with a proper web developer, we can add as many pages as we want. We can have any types of integrations. We can have forms integrating in with your CRMs. We can have call to action buttons wherever we want. If you don't like that button and want it moved over this way a little bit, we can do that with custom coding, where with a Wix you're stuck with exactly how it is. So
yeah.
um, people also think they're saving money, but the cost of the hosting that can still get quite expensive with a Wix, and it's all hosted with them. It potentially could be slow. There's nothing you can do about speeding up that website and server because it's with Wix directly.
Our consumption of media is changing, so we're looking at websites on different platforms now, whether that be tablets, mobiles, PC, laptops, and things like that. So, how important is it to have your website optimized for those different viewing pages?
It's super important to have them optimized on all devices. So everybody now has different size computers and different size screens. So we might have somebody that might have a 50 inch widescreen computer
Mm,
monitor, but then we might have somebody who's got a 13-inch laptop. Now, there's different breakpoints on every website, and we have to allow for every single one to make sure that it's been portrayed the same. As mentioned before, so many people now are viewing websites on an iPad, for instance. Now, that size again might be down to a 9-inch screen, but over 60% of people are actually viewing on a mobile device. So websites, to me, they look much better on a computer, a big computer screen. You can see a lot more in one sort of sitting, having a look straight at one screen.
yeah,
Where mobile, you have to scroll through a lot of different things, but it needs to work for the client as well. It needs to be easily accessible for people. They need to be able to find what they're looking for straight away. So it's really, really important that your website works on every single device.
yeah. And I've also heard that like website security and speed obviously has an impact on Google searches. So, what does that kind of mean when you talk about security of a website or speed?
Wow, how this could go down a pretty deep rabbit hole talking about security, but
Yeah.
we'll start with the speed. Yeah, 100% correct there. Google will rank you down if you have a slow website. So I don't know off the top of my head. I think the stat is people will be on your site for about 8 seconds. If they don't like it, they're off. Okay, so if your site is taking 6 or 7 seconds to load, and someone sitting there waiting for it. We're all impatient these days. We have some of the best internet that we've ever had, but people are still impatient. They want these speeds. They want it now, now, now. So
Yeah.
we're now seeing your general consumer having faster speeds than most businesses have ever had in the past, but
Yeah.
everybody's so impatient and wants things to happen now. So you need a really, really fast website to capture your audience and make it load super quick so they can see what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the security goes, it's as far as the server goes, it's as far as the website goes, it's all the different plugins. We really need it to be secure so it can't get hacked. I mean,
Yep.
everyone's trying to, the people are trying to hack websites all day, every day at the moment, and keeping it up to date is super, super important.
Yep.
Um, WordPress versions, themes, obviously your SSL certificate, that's a security certificate. You might see if you've gone to a website before it say this site is unsafe. Super important to have a security certificate to enforce HTTPS, another layer of security again. Making sure that we've got reCAPTCHA on all the forms, making sure bots aren't filling all these forms out. Um, I think over 50% of websites that are WordPress at the moment aren't even up to date. Now, we
Yep.
all know that these updates with our phones, computers, all these types of things, updates actually happen to enforce security. So there's normally some sort of loophole that's happened, and they're going, all right, we need to get a patch to fix that security loophole. And if your website hasn't been secured and up to date, that's a massive, massive hole.
Yeah. And I guess that probably leads on to a follow-up question for me is like, obviously you get a website done and then you might work with that web developer and have like a managed update service, which is ongoing. So I guess if you could explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we give all our clients access to their own websites so they can do whatever they want with it. Most people don't want to, which is quite okay. Some people have a team that they do want them just to do small updates, like maybe change a photo or change some text. So we're very open and let our clients have access to their own website. But the maintenance is also super important. As we just said about these updates, if you've got 10 different plugins on your website, one might be some sort of integration with forms, another one might be going into your CRM, another one might be an online shop. You know, if we've got all these different plugins, they need to be updated to fill these security holes. So what we do is we actually do those updates as part of a maintenance package, whether it's a monthly or a quarterly package, we will do that for them. Now, clients can also go online and do these updates themselves. But generally, if you update one plugin, it might not be compatible with another plugin, and then it breaks the whole website. So what we do is we do it on a staging server. So if anything breaks, we can see it, we can fix it, find out what's wrong before we actually push that live to their live website, which is really, really important. The other thing that we do is on our server, we do daily backup. So we back up the website every day for up to 7 days. So we can go and restore that whole website up to 7 days back. And when we do these maintenance, we also do an off-site backup of the full website as well. So we'll go store that in our online storage. So if anything ever happens, we can restore that website back to whichever month it needs to go back to as well.
Yeah. And I guess the purpose of most websites is to get the customer to call to action, whether it be
Yes.
phone, email. So how important is it to have those scattered through your websites to make it easy for the client to contact or get in contact as possible?
Yeah, it's really important to have call to actions. It just depends on what type of call to actions they are. So every single business isn't running the same as the other business. So if you're an online shop, it might be buy now. There might be a call to
Yep.
action button saying buy now or shop now or something like that. You might be trying to get your marketing up, so you might have a pop-up come up that says subscribe to our newsletter,
Yep.
and you might put in your email address, and that might be another call to action. But you're capturing those details of potential customers. There might be another one, which we've got another client at the moment that has a pop up saying, "How did you hear about us?" And then we've got Facebook, we've got radio, we've got word of mouth. You know what I mean? So they're capturing all that
Yep.
data to find out where their clientele is actually coming from. They're just pop-ups. But the other call to actions which are important to have on a website might be call now or
Yep.
submit a form or request a quote. Or
Yep.
if you're a trade, for instance, we have a lot of people that have their own job scheduling tools. We might have a form that links up with that that says book now. So people can actually have bookings on their online website as well. But we
Yep.
have these buttons scattered all around people's websites to make sure that when they're on the website, they might be reading some sort of information, but there's always some sort of call to action to convince a customer to do something with that. There's no point just being on the website and reading information. We want to try to capture new clients out of it, or capture their data, or get them to book a job, or get them to buy something. That's another point of actually having the website itself.
In clients I've been working with, I've seen a rise in suburb-based landing pages for tradies. So what's the importance and why are they done?
Yeah, so a lot of tradies particular have a landing page for the suburbs. So they might be a plumber that might be based in the southern suburbs, but they can't just advertise southern suburbs because nobody's Googling plumber southern suburbs. It's just not happening. Where if they are in, say, Morphett Vale, they might say plumber Morphett Vale. Now, if someone's Googling plumber Morphett Vale, you want that page to come up, but you don't want that page to come up for somebody who might be in Hallett Cove. So there's two suburbs that are really close to each other, but having a Morphett Vale page isn't going to impact somebody looking for a plumber in Hallett Cove. So
Yep.
instead of just having a generic plumber page, what they do is have a page for each individual suburb, and then that'll help it rank higher up on Google. So
Yep.
anytime somebody clicks on it, then their page is there on Google. Now, going back to our last conversation, is we have these call to actions on there, whether it's fill in a form, make a phone call, or book that plumber now. Really important to have some call to actions on these landing pages and capture why that person's going to that landing page in the first place.
Yep. Cool. I think that covers off the website side of things, unless you've got anything you wanted to add. I thought I might pick your brain about telephone systems. We obviously use your telephone system, so I'm a little bit
Yes.
biased in what I say. But I guess step through, I guess why should you advertise a local number as opposed to a mobile on maybe on your vehicle or signage?
That's a great question. And I get this question all the time because I had this one person come to me, he owned a business and says, "Why do you always talk about having a local number?" So, why I think it's important is a mobile number almost says that, hey, I'm a one man band, give me a call. Okay.
Yeah.
When you have a local 08 number, it actually says, hey, we're a business. We have a team. You may not even have a team,
Yeah.
but we can advertise that we have a team. Okay. 08 shows that it's a local Adelaide company as well, rather than a mobile number that could be anywhere in Australia. Also,
Yeah.
super important. And the other part here is that, which is really, really important, and people don't understand until they get a little bit bigger, is separating that work-life balance. So being able to switch off at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whenever it may be. You might be a plumber that doesn't do after hours call outs, but you're getting your mobile called every night, 5 or 6 phone calls
Mm.
a night. You might be
Mm.
a builder and people don't have boundaries. They might be calling you on a Sunday saying, hey, I need a quote for this. Well, you know what? That's not actually that important. That can wait until
Yeah.
Monday. Where if they
Yeah.
called your business line, it would have said, thanks for calling ABC building company.
Yeah.
You've called outside of business hours for an emergency. Please press one. If not, leave a voicemail and we'll get back to you during business hours. All right.
Yeah.
So it's all about delegating where your phones go as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what I like about particularly setting up those phone systems is it also sets you up for growth. You may be a one-man band now, but obviously you've probably got plans to grow. And by having that phone system in place, you can slot in an admin person to take those phone calls, and you don't need to change numbers. It's like they call through and it goes through the whole system, which is what I really like about being able to be scaled for growth from that side of things.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely there for the scaling, to be
Mm.
able to have an accounts person pick
Yeah.
up the phone, or a salesperson to pick up the phone, or just an admin person taking every single phone call and
Mm.
booking you in. Or maybe you've got a virtual assistant or something like that that is actually taking your calls, booking jobs in. Maybe they're also doing the accounts. So
Yeah.
being able to narrow down how that happens. And even if you are just a one man band, and being
Mm.
able to scale is a big pro on it. But
Mm.
the fact of being able to push that phone call to wherever you want, it
Yeah.
might even be a voicemail, push it to a
Yeah.
voicemail. It's pretty
Yeah.
invaluable.
Yeah. And I think that probably leads into the next question, which is about call flow. So, what maybe explain what happens when you call, and particularly maybe why you can't answer it and they're on hold waiting for some answer. Utilizing that time to promote your business as well.
Yeah, it's something that I get a little bit geeky about when we talk about phone
Yeah,
systems, and it's all about what happens with that phone call. So phone calls are so important to businesses. You work so hard in getting somebody to pick up that phone and call you to start with. You want to capture that phone call, however you can. You want to capture that person. If they don't answer, if you don't answer that phone call, they might be going to your competitor. So what we
mm,
do is we sit down and we generally do a whiteboard session. Say, all right, it might. What are your business hours to start with? They might be 9 to 5. Let's go. All the trades listening to this at the moment saying who works 9 to 5. But anyway,
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
let's for interest sake say that. But 9 to 5, we're going to say what happens when this phone rings between 9 and 5. Now, do we want it to ring a particular person? Do we want it to ring a group of people? Do we want it to ring a group of people in a certain order? Or do we want to call this person and if they don't answer it, it goes to voicemail? So we whiteboard this whole scenario and say, do we want some sort of welcome message at the start to say, thanks, you've called the financial foreman. One of our helpful team members will be with you shortly, which obviously you've
yep,
got something else
yep,
similar to that at the moment as well. And then once that happens, it can go anywhere. Or we might have a press 1 for sales, press 2 for accounts, press 3 for all other inquiries, which is very, very popular as well. As much as people don't like hearing that when they're on the phone,
yep,
the admin time saved by pushing that to the right person rather than the business owner answering the phone and then having to transfer the call to the accounts department is
yep,
invaluable.
yep, yeah,
So first we start working on that and we say what happens with that phone call. And then we say what happens if that phone call isn't received. So does
mm,
it go to somebody else or do we get to go to voicemail? And when it goes to voicemail, what do we do with that voicemail? Do we just answer it on our mobile phone? Do we have it on the app on our phone? Do we have it on a computer? Or do we have it going to email? Now, if it's going to email, it might just go to one person or it might go to a group of people where somebody can deal with that as an attachment so you can listen to it on your mobile or your computer as well.
yeah. Yeah, I think that
After,
is
yeah,
vitally
sorry, go.
important as well because like that person that calling is ready to do business already, is ready to convert. So it is vitally important that they have their inquiry answered in some way or responded to as quickly as possible.
Oh, 100%. They're calling for a reason.
Yeah.
So let's capture that reason and deal with it. And then we'll go to obviously the after hours and public holidays. We do very, very similar thing. What happens what's the ideal scenario? And we'll make it work. What's the
Mm.
ideal scenario? Where do you want the calls to go? How do you want them flowing? And we go from there. But as you can probably imagine, it's like a big family tree. It starts here and then goes here and then here and then here and then here until we get the desired outcome with the right times and places for them to be answered.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, I think that's been amazing, Ash. Very insightful. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problems. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.